Have you ever looked in the mirror and wondered why you feel so tired lately? Why your skin seems dull, or your belly a little more stubborn than usual? Maybe your digestion has become unpredictable. Perhaps your memory feels foggy, or your heart beats a little faster than normal. For many Americans over the age of 45, these signs are easy to dismiss as just aging. But there is often something deeper going on. Something that works silently, tirelessly, without asking for credit. That something is your liver. Most people think of the liver as just an organ for alcohol processing. But your liver does far more than that. It filters everything you eat, breathe, and apply to your skin. It handles toxins from medications, air pollution, food additives, and more. In fact, your liver is the largest internal organ and one of the most essential. It works around the clock to protect you, transform poisons into harmless waste, balance your hormones, and even help regulate cholesterol and blood sugar. But what happens when this hard-working organ gets overwhelmed? Unlike your heart or stomach, the liver does not complain loudly at first. It suffers in silence. Up to 90% of the liver can be damaged before any obvious symptoms appear. This resilience is both a blessing and a danger, because we often wait until it is too late. Fatty liver disease is a rising crisis, not just in alcohol drinkers but in people who have never touched a drop. It is linked to obesity, diabetes, high cholesterol, and heart disease. When fat begins to build up in the liver, its ability to process toxins and burn fat begins to fail. You gain weight more easily. Your blood pressure rises. Inflammation spreads throughout your body. And slowly, your overall health begins to unravel. How can you tell if your liver is in trouble? The signs are subtle but clear. Skin issues like acne, dryness, itchiness, or rashes may appear. Digestive problems like bloating or constipation may increase. You may feel more tired, forgetful, or anxious. Even your sleep might be affected, as the liver plays a role in your body's natural rhythm. These are not random problems. They are your body whispering for help. The truth is that our modern lifestyle is putting tremendous pressure on the liver. Processed foods, fried meals, sugar-laden drinks, and everyday environmental toxins are pushing it beyond its limit. And because the liver does not cry out in pain, we ignore the warning signs. We keep eating what we think is healthy, not realizing those choices may be slowly damaging our most important organ. But here is the good news. The liver has an incredible power to regenerate. With the right changes in your daily habits and nutrition, it can heal. It can shed the fat, reduce inflammation, and regain its strength. Your energy can return. Your weight can stabilize. Your heart can beat with less strain. And your mind can become sharper again. In the next sections, we will explore the most common toxic ingredients that are silently damaging your liver. These are the everyday foods and habits that most people never question. But knowledge is power. And by understanding what to avoid and what to add, you can give your liver the chance to recover. Because when your liver thrives, everything else begins to fall into place. It is time to stop ignoring your liver. It is time to listen. Let me take you back to a moment from my younger years. I worked in a restaurant kitchen, and my job included managing the fryer. Every day, I would pour in oil, dip in baskets of fries, cauliflower, mushrooms, and chicken, then pull them out crispy and golden. It smelled good. It tasted even better. But behind that delicious crunch was something dangerous. The oil was reused, again and again. Heated, cooled, heated again. What I did not know then was that this simple practice was sending invisible poison into every meal we served. That poison is called repeatedly heated cooking oil, and it is one of the biggest threats to your liver today. Most people do not think twice about eating fried food. It is part of everyday life. But the real problem is not just that it is fried. It is how it is fried. When oils like vegetable, soybean, or peanut oil are heated over and over again, They break down. They release compounds known as polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. These compounds are not just unhealthy, they are cancer-causing. They are inflammatory. And they are stored right inside your cells. Your liver, being the first line of defense, has to deal with every bite, every French fry, every fried chicken sandwich, every basket of onion rings adds to the toxic load. The liver tries to filter and neutralize these compounds, but over time, it gets tired. The cells become clogged with fat, the inflammation builds, and the damage begins. These reused oils stay in your body for up to 2 years. They become part of your cell membranes. That means the very structure of your body is made from unstable, damaged fats. It affects everything from how your brain functions to how your heart beats. Studies have shown that these oils raise cholesterol, increase blood pressure, and even impair memory. Your ability to think clearly, stay sharp, and maintain emotional balance may be compromised, all because of a cooking method we consider normal. Fast food chains are some of the worst offenders. But sit-down restaurants are not much better. They rarely change the oil between batches. So every time you order something fried, you are likely eating oil that has been used again and again. Even the smell of that oil in the kitchen can harm your lungs and enter your bloodstream. This is not just about heart disease or weight gain. This is about liver failure, brain fog, chronic fatigue, and a body that no longer works the way it should. When your liver spends all its energy processing toxins, it cannot do its real job. It cannot help you lose weight. It cannot balance your hormones. It cannot keep your cholesterol in check. And slowly, it gives out. But there is a way out. Start by saying no to fried food when you eat out. Choose grilled, baked, or steamed options. At home, use fresh oils and avoid reheating them. Look for stable fats like olive oil, avocado oil, or even coconut oil if used properly. These do not break down as easily and are far safer for your body. Remember, you cannot control everything in your environment, but you can control what goes on your plate. And every smart choice you make gives your liver a chance to catch its breath and heal. Your liver is not asking for perfection. It is asking for a break. When we hear the word vegetable, we think of health. We think of green salads, fresh produce, and nature's medicine. But there is a dark side to the word vegetable when it is followed by the word oil. You see, real vegetables do not naturally produce oil in abundance. It takes intense processing, chemical solvents, bleaching, and deodorizing to turn a plant like soybean or corn into a bottle of shiny golden liquid. And that bottle, for millions of people, has become a silent destroyer of liver health. Vegetable oils are marketed as healthy. Canola, soybean, cottonseed, and corn oil are common in almost every household. They are in our salad dressings, our packaged snacks, our frozen dinners, and even in items labeled as healthy. But these oils are unstable. They oxidize easily. They are high in linoleic acid, a type of omega-6 fat that promotes inflammation when consumed in excess. And when your body absorbs them, they become part of your cell membranes, making your cells more fragile and prone to damage. Now think about what your liver has to do every time you eat a packaged snack, a store-bought cookie, or a frozen meal cooked in vegetable oil. It has to identify, process, and attempt to neutralize something that was never meant to be consumed in these quantities. And that task comes at a cost. The liver gets inflamed. It accumulates fat. It produces more cholesterol to repair the damage. And over time, the liver loses its strength and resilience. It gets worse. Many vegetable oils are turned into trans fats during processing. Trans fats are the worst kind of fat you can eat. They are created through a process called hydrogenation, which turns liquid oil into a solid or semi-solid form, like margarine or shortening. This process makes the product last longer on the shelf, but it also turns it into a chemical nightmare for your body. Trans fats are known to increase bad cholesterol, lower good cholesterol, and trigger systemic inflammation. They have been banned in many countries, but traces still exist in processed foods. They age your skin. They damage your arteries. They disrupt your hormones. And most importantly, they wear down your liver every single day. The science is clear. When the body consumes excessive linoleic acid and trans fats, it produces something called advanced glycation end products. These are harmful compounds formed when sugars and fats interact in the body. These compounds accelerate aging. They harden your tissues. They lead to diabetes, Alzheimer's disease, and liver scarring. And because they are formed inside your system, they are very difficult to remove. Your liver becomes a battlefield, fighting to keep these compounds from doing permanent damage. And without your help, it cannot win that war. So what can you do? First, read every label. Look for hidden words like hydrogenated oil, shortening, or vegetable blend. These are red flags. Cook with stable fats instead. Extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, butter, and ghee are far better options. They have stronger chemical bonds and are less likely to oxidize under heat. They support your body instead of attacking it. Second, embrace whole foods. The more natural your diet, the less likely you are to consume these harmful fats. Real food does not need an ingredient label. An avocado, an egg, a piece of fish. These do not come with a warning sign. They come with nourishment. Your liver is not weak. It is one of the strongest organs in your body. But even the strongest worker needs a safe environment to thrive. Remove the hidden enemies. Replace them with allies. And you will begin to feel the difference in your energy, your skin, your digestion, and even your mood. Health begins at the cellular level, and the fats you choose build those cells. Choose wisely. There is a type of enemy that you cannot taste or smell. It hides inside everyday foods, especially those you might think are harmless. Corn chips, peanut butter, breakfast cereals, even certain baby foods. This invisible threat comes in the form of a fungus called aflatoxin, and it may be one of the most overlooked causes of liver damage in modern life. Aflatoxins are toxic compounds produced by certain types of mold. They thrive in warm, humid environments and contaminate crops like corn and peanuts during growth, harvest, or storage. The contamination is so common that even the Food and Drug Administration allows trace amounts in food. But trace amounts, consumed regularly over time, do not stay harmless. Inside your body, aflatoxins act like poison. They bypass your digestive tract and go straight to your liver. Once there, they trigger a toxic response. Your liver, already burdened with processing environmental chemicals, sugars, and fats, now has to deal with fungal toxins as well. The more exposure you have, the harder your liver has to work, and the more damage is done. Studies have linked aflatoxin exposure to liver inflammation, immune system suppression, and even liver cancer. In some parts of the world, where food safety regulations are weaker, aflatoxin poisoning is a leading cause of liver failure. But even in the United States, low-level exposure is a growing concern, especially for children and older adults whose systems may already be compromised. Now, think about how often corn appears in your diet, not just as a vegetable, but as an ingredient. Corn syrup, corn flour, corn oil, cornstarch. These are in thousands of processed foods. And each time you consume them, you could be getting a small dose of aflatoxins along with it. The same goes for peanuts. Regular peanut butter often contains trace amounts of aflatoxin. While it may not make you sick immediately, the cumulative effect over the years can wear down your liver's resilience. Some people experience this as food sensitivities or unexplained fatigue. Others only find out after receiving a diagnosis they never expected. There is also the issue of how the body reacts to aflatoxins. In many cases, the immune system treats them as invaders, causing allergic reactions or inflammation. This is why some people believe they are allergic to peanuts or corn, when the real issue may be a reaction to the mold toxins inside those foods. The result is more stress on your liver and more confusion in your body. So how do you protect yourself? Start by choosing non-GMO and organic corn products whenever possible. These are less likely to be contaminated. If you eat peanuts, look for varieties like Valencia peanuts, which are grown in dry climates and have a much lower risk of mold exposure. Consider switching to almond butter or other alternatives if you are consuming peanut butter regularly. Cut back on processed foods that contain corn syrup or corn-based fillers. These are not just empty calories, they are potential sources of long-term toxicity. The more natural your food, the fewer chances aflatoxins have to sneak in. Your liver needs you to be vigilant. It cannot tell you directly when it is under attack, but it shows signs. Skin flare-ups, digestive issues, fatigue, mood swings. These are not random. They are whispers from an organ that has been protecting you quietly for decades. By removing aflatoxins from your life, you give your liver one less battle to fight. And that means more energy for you, more clarity, more resilience, less risk of disease, and a body that feels like it is finally working with you instead of against you. Protecting your liver is not about fear, it is about wisdom. Knowing what harms you and choosing something better. There is something comforting about sweetness. A piece of cake after dinner. A flavored drink on a hot afternoon. A splash of syrup in your morning coffee. Sugar has woven itself into the rituals of daily life. But behind that comfort lies a danger. One that targets your liver more directly than almost any other part of your body. The sugar we consume every day may be silently poisoning the very organ that protects us most. Let us begin with fructose. Unlike glucose, which is used by every cell in your body for energy, fructose is processed almost entirely in the liver. That means every time you consume fructose, your liver must stop what it is doing and turn that sugar into something usable or store it as fat. In small amounts, this is manageable. But in today's world, we are consuming more fructose than ever before. High fructose corn syrup is added to soft drinks, condiments, salad dressings, bread, cereal, and even so-called health foods. It is cheap, sweet, and everywhere. When the liver is overwhelmed by fructose, it starts turning that sugar into fat. Over time, this fat accumulates in the liver itself, leading to a condition called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And unlike alcohol-related liver issues, this can affect people who never drink a single glass. It is now one of the most common liver problems in the United States, and it often goes unnoticed until it is advanced. But the problem is not just what sugar does to the liver directly. It also affects blood sugar levels, insulin resistance, and inflammation. These, in turn, damage blood vessels, clog arteries, and make it harder for your body to burn fat. You gain weight even when eating modestly. You feel tired, foggy, and sluggish, and your body starts working against itself. Agave nectar, once praised as a healthy alternative to sugar, is often worse than high fructose corn syrup. It can contain up to 90% fructose. The more you consume, the more fat your liver must deal with. This fat does not just sit quietly. It causes inflammation, oxidative stress, and even scarring of the liver tissues. Over time, this can progress to more serious conditions like cirrhosis. And then there are refined carbohydrates. White bread, pasta, pastries, and processed snacks. These do not contain fructose, but they break down quickly into glucose. When consumed without fiber, this glucose rushes into your bloodstream, spiking your insulin levels and flooding your liver with more sugar than it can handle. Your liver tries to burn it for energy, but what it cannot use gets stored as fat. Glucose also acts like a sticky substance. It binds to proteins and fats inside your body, forming what scientists call glycation end products. These compounds age your organs, damage your skin, and cause long-term inflammation. Your liver is once again on the front line, trying to clean up the mess, but your liver cannot do it alone. It needs your support, and that starts with awareness. Choose natural sugars wisely. Berries, apples, and citrus fruits provide sweetness along with fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants. They help the liver rather than harm it. Avoid sweeteners that are stripped of all nutritional value. Read labels carefully. If you cannot pronounce the ingredients, your liver probably cannot process them easily either. Incorporate more fiber into your meals. Fiber slows the absorption of sugar, eases the liver's burden, and helps balance your metabolism. Vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts are particularly helpful. They support detoxification and provide compounds that help regenerate liver cells. Drink water with lemon. Lemon supports liver function and digestion. It is a small habit that can make a big difference. And if you enjoy coffee, good news. Moderate, high-quality coffee consumption has been shown to reduce liver inflammation and fibrosis. Just skip the sugar and creamers. Your liver was never designed to process the volume of sugar found in today's food. But with smart choices, you can reverse much of the damage. You can lighten the load, restore balance, and feel the difference in your energy, mood, and weight. Sugar may feel like a treat, but to your liver, it is often a trap. Choose wisely. Your health depends on it. ChatGPT said, "Tôi sẽ hoàn thiện phần 6, phần cuối cùng của chuỗi này, đảm bảo đúng phong cách và độ dài như các phần trước." Phần 6. The double trouble of alcohol and the path to liver recovery. There is a reason people refer to alcohol as a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it is a social lubricant, a tradition, even a form of comfort. But on the other, it is one of the most damaging substances your liver has to face. And what makes it even more dangerous is that it combines two of the worst enemies of liver health in one dose: toxins and sugar. When you take a sip of alcohol, your liver immediately goes to work. Its mission is to break down the ethanol and transform it into something your body can eliminate. This process requires energy and nutrients, including vitamins like B and C, as well as enzymes that are already in short supply when your body is under stress. What is worse, the substance alcohol is converted into before being removed, acetaldehyde, is highly toxic. It can cause cell damage, DNA mutations, and long-term inflammation. That is just the toxin side of the equation. Alcohol also contains sugar. Even dry wines and spirits impact your blood sugar. Mixed drinks and cocktails can be loaded with syrups and juices, pushing your insulin levels through the roof. The liver has to process both the toxic load and the sugar rush at the same time, which makes alcohol one of the most intense stressors it will ever face. This combination promotes fat buildup in liver cells, known as steatosis. Over time, this can lead to inflammation, known as steatohepatitis. Eventually, scarring begins to form. The liver becomes stiff, less able to function, and less able to protect you. The result is a cascade of problems that affect your heart, brain, skin, digestion, and even your emotional health. Now here is the surprising truth. Alcohol-related liver disease accounts for only a small percentage of total cases worldwide. The vast majority of liver problems today come from the foods we have already discussed: the oils, the sugars, the additives. That does not mean alcohol is off the hook. It means that for someone who is already consuming a standard Western diet, adding alcohol is like pouring gasoline on a fire. So what can you do? The first step is not necessarily to eliminate alcohol forever. It is to be intentional. Give your liver regular days of rest. Alcohol-free days where it can catch up and recover. Choose your drinks wisely. Go for organic wines, clear spirits without added sugars, and always hydrate. For every drink you consume, follow it with water. This helps your body flush out toxins and reduces the burden on your liver. But the most powerful path forward is not just about subtraction. It is about addition. Add healing drinks like lemon water in the morning. Add turmeric to your meals. It has anti-inflammatory properties that support liver repair. Add cruciferous vegetables to your plate every single day. They contain sulfur compounds that help detoxify your system naturally. And yes, as strange as it may sound, coffee can help. Not the sugary kind with syrups and whipped cream. Real black coffee. Organic and low acid if possible. Studies show that 2 cups a day may reduce fibrosis and liver scarring. It supports the detox pathways and offers antioxidants that your body desperately needs. But more than any specific food or habit, the key is this: listen to your liver. You may not hear it speak, but it sends signals. That extra layer of belly fat, that foggy head, that chronic bloating, those energy crashes after meals. They are not random. They are your liver asking for help. And the beautiful thing is, it does not take years to make a difference. Within weeks of supportive changes, people begin to feel lighter, clearer, more in control. The weight comes off more easily. The sleep becomes deeper. The mind becomes sharper. So give your liver what it needs. Space to heal. Foods that nourish. Habits that respect its limits. You only have one liver, and it works harder than any other organ in your body to protect you from the world around you. The least we can do is return the favor. This is not about guilt. It is about wisdom, and the choice is yours.